call this May 13th regular session of the Oconee County Board of Education to order. First thing we need is a motion to approve the agenda.
So moved.
Mr. Burgess?
Second.
Mr. Ransom, all in favor? Passes 5-0. Next, we'll need a motion to approve the minutes from our April 15th special session, our April 15th regular session, and our May 6th work session.
So moved.
Mr. Hammack?
Second.
Ms. Parrish, all in favor? Passes 5-0. Next, we have recognitions. Mr. Colquitt.
Thank you, Ms. Argo. Good evening, board members and Dr. Branch. We've got several folks to recognize this evening, so if you'll join us up front. As you go forward, I'll also note that our art display this month is provided by students of Malcolm Bridge Middle School. Their instructor is Jessica Johnston. The display is in the hallway and also on the board behind you. First this evening, the board will recognize Penny Everhart as the May Pursuit of Excellence Award winner for support personnel. Ms. Everhart is the administrative assistant at High Shoals Elementary. She will receive a $50 Visa gift card and a golf umbrella provided by Peach State Federal Credit Union, as well as additional gift cards from Chops and Hops and Rosie's Hometown Meats, and a commemorative plaque from Oconee County Schools. Penny, this is the part where I have to embarrass you a little bit, okay? From your co-workers, imagine someone who not only keeps the numbers in check, but also dives into the heart of school life. Penny is the driving force behind club sign-ups, the person dashing out for last-minute errands, and the one setting up before everyone else arrives for events. She scoops cookie dough for fundraisers. If a bus driver is needed, she's on it to ensure no trip gets canceled on her watch. She finds subs and keeps up with everyone's leave. To put it simply, she's all in and has things covered. She's also about bringing everyone along for the ride. Do you have a question? She's got answers and time to walk you through it. Are you new to the team? She'll be your go-to guide, making the overwhelming feel manageable. She is the heart and soul of our school, and she makes our days smoother and our spirits brighter. She has boundless energy, a generous heart, and an unwavering dedication. She's not just doing a job, she's making a difference, and that's what excellence is all about. The May Pursuit of Excellence Award winner for support personnel, Penny Everhart. Next, the board will recognize the Cargill STEM Scholars, Amy Rivera from Dove Creek Elementary, Rachel Carter from Oconee Elementary, and Mercy Johnson from Rocky Branch Elementary. On hand to assist with tonight's presentation are Amanda Bice and Will Dodd from Georgia Youth Science and Technology Centers. And before we started this evening, Amanda let me know that there are 27 recipients in the state, and we have 3 from Oconee County. Did y'all squeeze in up front here? Everybody right here for me? Hang on. You want to open them up? Sure.
They also received $500.
All right. Congratulations. Next, the board will recognize the 2024 GHSA Literary State Awardees from Oconee County High School. State runners-up Jackson Tucker in humorous interpretation and Faith Tucker in international extemporaneous speaking. And third place finishers, Madison Fountain in dramatic interpretation, Abel Clark and C.J. Cook in duo interpretation, and Logan Bono in voice solo. The team is made up of Jackson Tucker, Faith Tucker, Madison Fountain, Abel Clark, C.J. Cook, Logan Bono, Rohan Patel, Fisher Bowen, Katie Walker, and Leah Dunford. They came in third in the state as a team. The advisors are Drew Doss and Katie Williams. Come on up, advisors. You're all part of this.
Yes.
Front row, I think, just sort of lean away. Drew, come slide in just a little bit on that side for me.
Sideways.
That's it. There it is. Okay, so here we go. Perfect.
Thanks.
All right, hold tight. You got parents on over?
Oh. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Next board will recognize the state champions in class 1 through 5A gymnastics from North Oconee High School. Maria Albert, Adley Bufford, Kaylee Connors, Ella Hawkins, Emma Haygood, Emma Howells, Danny Ivy, Hadley Keller, Caroline McDonald, Chloe McDonald, Gabby Wynn, Maggie Nunn, Emery Shepard, Kate Stetter, Anna Thomas, Catherine Wagner, Sienna Zuccaro, managers Grace Ann Kane and Maggie Rogers, and coaches Hillary Sanders and Ashley Owens. In addition, Emma Howells was the individual state champion on vault and uneven bars.
She's still on her way back. She's a national champion.
All right.
Steve, are we doing the salute, or are we?
About the range.
All right, everybody, right here for me. All right, hold tight.
Thank you so much.
Next, the board will recognize the 2024 Georgia Science and Engineering Fair awardee from Dove Creek Middle, Ruby Darnell. She received the Mercer University School of Medicine's 2024 Award for Excellence in Scientific Inquiry. Her advisor is Ben Grassmeyer. That was the unofficial photo. Congratulations. That concludes recognitions for this evening.
Next, we have points of pride, and we want to welcome Malcolm Bridge Middle School.
Good evening, Board of Education members and Dr. Branch. This is Burke, Lincoln, Blakely, and Elizabeth coming to you live from the Oconee County Board of Education office. We are here this evening to tell you more about the Malcolm Bridge Middle School communication team. Our communication team is composed of students and staff at MBMS, all working together to support the positive communication goal to develop the character traits of kindness, leadership, and respect in our school and community. Each member of the MBMS team contributes in the following ways. Our first form of communication is our digital announcements. Mrs. Stewart, our school librarian, is the manager of this category, and she uses a variety of display formats to create the slides. Available on the TV and on the board in front of you are an example of the typical scrolling announcements that are available in our lobby, cafeteria, and hallways around the school for students and staff. These slides serve to promote the activities and announcements at Malcolm Bridge Middle School. Students also contribute through our morning announcement team. It is composed of two groups of 7th and 8th grade students, and the teams alternate announcement duty each week. The structure of our presentation this evening is based on how we deliver the announcements each morning to our school. The process starts with Mrs. Stewart compiling announcements sent from teachers, club sponsors, and coaches. We arrive at 7:45 to pick up the announcements, and then we meet in Mrs. Harrison's office to practice. We start the announcements each day at 8:10 over the intercom, and afterwards, Mrs. Stewart emails a copy of the announcements to the entire student body, so every student has easy access to the information.
The next member of our team is Coach Riddell, who creates all the student recognition slides. We have these slides to celebrate the accomplishments of our student body, whether in sports, academics, or extracurriculars. Some examples of these slides include Bolt Bragg winner, Athlete of the Week, and DAR essay winner. It's awesome to see students that we know being recognized for their achievements. Coach Truelock, another member of our team, creates all the slides that announce staff birthdays. These slides help us students remember to celebrate our teachers and faculty members as we go throughout the day. Coach Truelock also creates the weekly lunch menu slides. Lunch menus are vital to students throughout the day to help them decide on bringing lunch from home or eating lunch from school.
Ms. Stevens is responsible for curating and posting engaging content across all of our social media platforms, including X, Instagram, and Facebook. Her primary goal is to showcase the amazing achievements and events happening at MBMS. She shares these stories with our parents and community partners and makes sure everyone is up to date. The final member of our team is Ms. Harrison, the dedicated and organized school administrator who keeps the entire school informed and connected through her weekly newsletter. Ms. Harrison is responsible for sending out important information such as announcements, highlights, and upcoming events at Malcolm Bridge Middle School. And now a word from our principal.
Thank you, Board of Education and Dr. Branch, for having us here tonight. Our teachers, students, and staff pride themselves on building positive community relationships. Good communication skills are key so that our community is well informed about what's happening at our school. This group of students and teachers lead us in that mission. We want our stakeholders to know what's going on at our school so that they can be a part of it. We enjoy seeing students, parents, and community members at events such as Veterans Day, band and chorus concerts, athletic events, and academic events. Each member of our communication team provides a vital role in this process. They do amazing at sharing the positive story of Malcolm Bridge Middle. Thank you, teachers, students, and parents that have supported us in this mission.
Board of Education members and Dr. Branch, thank you for allowing us to share about our school and our communication team. All are welcome to come visit us at Malcolm Bridge this Wednesday, the 15th, for field day. Have a marvelous Monday, Oconee County, and go Bolts!
thank you again for having us. They have a famous opening and closing every morning, and they wanted to share that. If you have any questions for us or for a member of our team, we're happy to answer those.
So thank you for putting the date, not the year.
Outstanding job. Can we get a picture with them?
Sure.
Yeah, y'all did a great job.
Guys, y'all just come forward right here. Stay.
Brett, can you lean forward at all, or Angela, can we dim the light there?
How's that?
It's just so bright on you. There it is. Big Mountain Bridge. Hold on,
Hang on.
hold on.
Ready, 1, 2, 3. My turn. I can go on the announcement.
You guys do contract work?
Great job.
Well done.
Next on our agenda is presentations and discussions. First, we have business services. Welcome, Ms. Childers.
Good evening, board members and Dr. Branch. The Oconee County Schools Business Services Report for May 13th, 2024 Board of Education meeting contains 7 items of information and 2 action items. The first item of information is the April cash balance report. The second item of information is a list of all vendor payments in April. The third item of information is the budget report for April. Revenues and expenditures are where we would expect getting closer to the end of the year. The fourth item of information is the ELOS collections report. We have a 6% increase over last month and 2% increase over April of last year. The fifth item of information is the ELOS 6 report. This first slide shows revenue updated for the month of April and expenditures updated for the month of April. The sixth item of information is the federal funds report. This first slide shows revenue updated for the month of April and expenditures updated for the month of April. The last item of information is the budget development calendar. As a reminder, the FY25 tentative budget for general funds and federal funds were presented at the May 6th board meeting and are action items for tonight. The general fund budget and budget hearing dates will be advertised in the Oconee Enterprise this week. The budget hearing dates are set for May 22nd and June 3rd. Both meetings will be held at 4 p.m. That concludes business services report unless there are any questions.
Questions? Mr. Burgess?
Just a comment. Katie, I want to say thank you for the work you did to put together the session we had last month in April on the budget expenditure side. First time we've gone through that level of detail in a number of years, and I thought it was very helpful and very informative. And going through a fairly high detailed level of expenditures on $100 million of our base budget. So I appreciate you putting all the work and effort down. I think it was very instructive. Second, I think you built and presented a very sound budget for us to consider. It hits a lot of the issues that obviously are both necessary for us to operate as a school system, plus several that we think we probably need to seriously consider to enhance our operations and address the challenges of next year and the year after. And last, thank you for putting tentative on the budget. I want to remind myself at least that this is still a tentative budget and we've still got several weeks to go before we finalize this process. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, guys.
Next, we have operations. Welcome, Mr. Ricketson.
Good evening. The Oconee County Schools Operations May 13th, 2024 Board of Education report contains 2 items of information and no action items for the May 13th, 2024 Board of Education meeting. The first item of information is the custodial supplies RFP. We've solicited proposals from vendors to give us proposals for supplying our custodians with all the cleaning products, equipment maintenance, and paper products that we use throughout the year. The second item of information is the grounds maintenance RFP. We've solicited proposals for maintenance of the grounds at the ISC. This will be in addition to our contract that we have with for grounds maintenance at all of our schools. That concludes the operations report. Unless there are any questions?
Any questions? Thank you. Next, we have communications to the board. Mr. Colquitt.
Ms. Argo, we have 3 citizens signed up for this evening. Before I bring them up, I'll read this. The board allows 3 minutes for those who sign up at the meeting. You must be a current resident of Oconee County to address the board. Please state your name, address, and topic. The board requests that you refrain from making any disparaging remarks about school system personnel. Generally, there will be no response to comments or questions posed by citizens at the meeting. All comments and questions will be received and taken under advisement by the board. However, any member of the board shall be free to respond and make public comments if he or she elects to do so. Our first citizen is Joyce Reefsteck.
Welcome.
Thanks. Madam Chair, board members, Dr. Branch, ladies and gentlemen, think about how much time you spend with your child every day. Maybe an hour or less in the morning before school, a few precious hours in the evening. Now think about who spends the most time with your children all day, every day at school. Mostly teachers and paraprofessionals. It seems that the people who spend the most time with our children would be the most valued. But when we consider the people who spend the day with our county children, there's a shocking level of unevenness across the salaries of Oconee school system employees. The work of teachers and paraprofessionals is the most crucial, yet they are among our school system's lowest paid employees. Because I only have 3 minutes, I'm going to focus on parapros. Parapros enrich and reinforce education. They're the ones helping your kids every day to succeed. They supervise groups, they help set up the classrooms, they do the messy stuff, they do the cleaning, they pick up after the kids, drying the tears and other liquids that we're not going to talk about. They calm kids down. Parapros possess a unique skill set that is constantly developing, changing, and adapting to many situations. Many parapros have college degrees, but most of the parapros in Oconee County make less than a high school kid who's working a fast food job, about $10 an hour. Some of them as low as $8.79 an hour. A parapro told me, "We are made to feel like it's a privilege to be able to work for Oconee County, but the county does not feel that it is a privilege to have such hardworking, dedicated, loyal employees working for them." So there's a huge disparity between the pay of administrators and teachers in Oconee County, but there's an even bigger drop to the level of paraprofessional pay. For example, our top paid administrator makes about 16 times what a paraprofessional makes. A principal makes about 7 times as much, and a teacher makes about 4.5 times as much as a paraprofessional. And the paltry 4% here and a couple of bucks there are not enough to close the pay gap. A parapro told me, "I realize there are jobs that carry more responsibility, so I understand that other people earn more than paras, but it's unfairly disproportionate. We continue to work in these positions because we love children and we want to see students thrive. However, we have mortgages to pay, we have children to feed, and our futures to think about just like the rest of the workforce. We can find the money in the budget to pay for frivolous, unnecessary things. We can float bonds to pay for a bloated building budget that just keeps growing. Certainly, we can find the money to pay a decent wage to the people who spend all day, every day, enriching the lives and the futures of our county's children. Thank you for listening.
Thank you.
Next is Dr. Fred Riefsteck.
Madam Chair, board members, Dr. Branch, ladies and gentlemen, I am Dr. Fred Riefsteck. I live at 1141 Thornwell Drive in Oconee County. My wife and I are proud products of state-run public schools. I earned my master's degree and medical degree from state universities. My father was a teacher, a coach, a principal, and ultimately the superintendent of a state-run school district. So I've seen firsthand how state schools operate, and I've seen firsthand how public schools are supposed to conduct business. Last month, after my wife, Joyce Riefsteck, spoke during the public comments portion of the school board meeting, a school board member responded. They were admonished by another school board member who said, "This is not the time or the place for this debate." So the question is, when is the time and the place for public discussion and debate? According to Georgia law, the business of the school board is to be conducted in public. So is it not done in public during the first meeting of the month, and it's not done in public during the second meeting of the month? One has to wonder when the public discussion and debate happen, and one has to wonder when all the business is being conducted, because it doesn't appear to be done in public. Thank you for the time and the opportunity to speak tonight.
Thank you.
Our final citizen is Stephen Alshire.
Welcome.
Thank you. My name is Stephen Alshire. I live in the county, 1151 Lake Walbert Drive. I'm a medical doctor. I have an active license in Georgia. I've lived here for 27 years. At the last work session, the Department of Public Health mobile clinic was discussed at the previous work session. The stated goal is to offer needed vaccinations for students. It was also stated that this has already been in place for at least one academic year. It's not really clear if it had another one. It was not stated what these vaccinations were specifically. I view this as a very slippery slope. In other parts of the country, similar clinics offer COVID boosters, HPV series, subcutaneous birth control implantation, and even mobile testing for HIV and other communicable diseases. I'm a pathologist, so I know something about these things. Generally, and most concerning, is that the blanket student permission slip that's going to be given out probably does not spell out exactly the vaccines to be given. Most concerning is another possible direction that could be taken and be permitted under these blanket permission slips. If a child in their teens starts to question their gender affinity, will the little mobile clinic suddenly decide that, well, you know, maybe a sex hormone agonist, meaning something like steroids or blockers, be indicated? Again, this would be without the parents' explicit permission, and it probably wouldn't be spelled out on the consultation or on the permission slip. Many will say it cannot happen here in Oconee County because it's a conservative place where religious and ethical impulses are very strong. I disagree. I feel that the mobile DPH van is an example of the camel's nose under the tent. If children need health care, including vaccines, they should go to an established location where full consultation in conjunction with the parents can be done. The parents need to be involved rather than just climbing on a van as if you're getting onto a clown show and not being sure what's going to come out. Parents may find that this is very convenient. I understand that. People are stressed. They need help with all this kind of stuff. But they may later be surprised by the eventual outcome, and they'll be disappointed perhaps. Thank you.
Thank you.
Ms. Argo, that concludes communications to the board.
Thank you. Okay, next on our agenda are action items. Dr. Branch?
Yes, ma'am, thank you. A couple of different forms here that we have each year that we bring before you. The first is the CTAE, Career Technical Agricultural Education Local Plan and Grants. Dr. Stansel presented on that. We'd recommend approval as presented.
One question, Madam Chair. We're about to take up a whole number of items that have been discussed previously in the past board meeting, correct?
Correct.
And we're about to take a public vote on each of those, including the budget that's been discussed at the previous board meeting and at a budget workshop last month, correct?
That is correct.
These are all public, formal actions that we're about to proceed, consider, and take.
Yes.
Okay. Just wanted to make sure I understood the nature of what we're about to do.
We need a motion to approve.
So moved.
Mr. Burgess?
Second.
Mr. Ransom, all in favor? Passes 5-0.
Okay, up next is the SWSS Local Board Resolution. Again, this is a waiver that provides us opportunity throughout the state, and it's just a renewal of the opportunities that we've had before. Dr. Stansell's presented on that, no changes, but it is, I believe, a 5-year renewal, and so we'd recommend that to be approved as presented.
We need a motion to approve.
So moved.
Mr. Hammack?
Second.
Ms. Parrish, all in favor? Passes 5-0.
Okay, up next we have school nutrition bids for FY25. Dr. LaDuff presented on these as well last week, and again, this is just a bid that is shared throughout school systems throughout our RESA to lower our costs, so we'd recommend approval as presented.
We need a motion to approve.
So moved.
Mr. Hammack?
Second.
Ms. Parrish, all in favor? Passes 5-0.
Okay, if it pleases the board, we can take D through H as all at the same time. They're all field trips, and we would recommend those be approved as presented.
Thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
Need a motion to approve.
Motion to approve field trips.
Mr. Ransom?
Second.
Mr. Burgess, all in favor? Passes 5-0.
Okay, up next is our tentative FY25 general fund budget. As you've seen and attended, we've had several meetings discussing this, and appreciate the outstanding work of Katie and the staff that worked to present this, and honored to recommend approval at this time.
We need a motion to approve.
So moved.
Mr. Burgess?
Second.
Mr. Hammack? All in favor? Passes 5-0.
Okay, next we have the tentative FY25 federal fund budget. Again, Katie has presented on this, and we recommend approval as presented.
We need a motion to approve.
Motion to approve.
Mr. Ransom?
Second.
Ms. Parrish? All in favor? Passes 5-0. We do have a need to move into executive session and need a motion to do so.
I'll make a motion that the board will adjourn to executive session to discuss or deliberate upon personnel matters as described in the affidavit to be attached to the minutes.
Ms. Parrish?
Second.
Mr. Burgess, all in favor? Passes 5-0.
Okay, we'll take a few minutes, clear the room for executive session.